following is a Learfield presentation of the Washington State Sports Network.
He buries it. The Cougs have taken the lead. This place is going to pop off.
This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
We're committed to being great here.
Lofts it, intercepted, and Washington State, Shaw Smith-Wade.
I'm proud to represent Washington State. I know the people that wear their Cougs all across this country, they're proud to be a part of Washington State.
Ward has blocking to the right, sprints to the 10, angles all the way, touchdown.
Why not be here? Why not cheer on this team? Why not see this environment and make it something special?
Spins out of a tackle, has Green 20-yard line to the 15, near sideline, Watson, touchdown.
What an opportunity to show who we are as Cougs.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zappos, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Now, live from Zappos, alongside Cougar head coach Jake Dickert, here's the voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow.
It is great to be with you live here at Zappos. We've got ourselves a packed house. And fantastic to start the show with our Director of Athletics, Pat Chun. We've put Pat to work. We've put a headset on him. Or let's get Pat's mic. Here we go.
You got it? All right, there we go. This is going to be a quick one.
Okay.
So, because I know everyone's here to see Coach Dickert, but let's start with a trivia question.
Oh, boy, on the spot. Hot seat right off the bat.
Tell me the only city, town, community in all the major college sports that is hosting a home top 25 volleyball match tonight.
Okay.
A home top 25 soccer match tomorrow.
Okay.
And a home top 25 football game on Saturday. The only one in the country. Tell me the name of that town, city, or community.
I feel like as a broadcaster, I can lay out and let the crowd answer for me.
Yeah.
Because Pullman, Washington feels like the
only
spot.
one in the country
That's
this
great.
weekend.
How about that?
Yeah, and we're one of only 3 schools ranked, but the only one hosting all 3. So
pretty darn
just
good.
a reminder, that's who we are.
That's pretty
we
darn
call,
good.
You know what we call this? Normal.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, it's great to have you. First of all, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You today were on a press conference of sorts, or a media availability of sorts with Oregon State, and it was President Schultz, and along with Oregon State's president
Murphy,
and Scott Barnes.
Yeah.
What was that about? And how did it go,
Yeah.
and what did we glean from that?
Scott Barnes, who lived a couple years in Johnson, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah, a little fun fact about him. Pre-parade, though, I was told. So just one I wanted – a lot of the discussion this week was about both schools, and today was just really about putting a spotlight on what's happening in college football. But on Saturday, I just want to remind everybody, the best way we can show respect to Washington State, to Oregon State, in Giesa Field is we have to make it the loudest, most difficult place to play in the country. We are on national TV on Saturday. It has to be our, that Wisconsin game. I mean, you could ask different people in our athletic department, but I'll typically watch the games on Sunday. I thought the intensity in that game was as good or better than 18 against Oregon. And we have to do better than that because the whole country is watching us, and this is going to be a hard game. I mean, we've seen the improvement of this program. They are built just like us to a certain degree. They have two great head coaches. Their programs are built in the images of them. But we have to make this the best way to show respect to Oregon State is we show the country this is one of the great college football environments. Our students and our fans impact the game. How many false starts do we get? And this really has to be our best come this Saturday because it's one of the big matchups in college football. You will see. We will ask everyone is between 20 to 18 minutes before kickoff. If you happen to be in the stadium, our band's going to play their fight song. If we could, applaud and salute their fight song because they're in a fight with us and
the Oregon State
fight song. So if we could do that as a show of respect to Oregon State, but after that. It's game time, and we have to make it the most difficult place to play in the country. So, really, that's the message from everyone here. Pullman is buzzing. We're sold out in volleyball tonight. We're sold out on Saturday. I bet we're going to have a huge crowd tomorrow night at soccer. And like we tell everyone, we call this normal.
Pullman in the fall. Love it. I love it. Thank you, Pat.
I know, Coach, get up here. There you are.
I love it.
All right, go Cougs. Thank you, guys.
That's Pat Chun. Thank you, buddy. We'll get Coach up here. And before we take a break, we'll get Coach right here live on headset as we've got ourselves this chance. We're live here, Coach. We're not in a break. Yeah, we're live. We're just ripping right through it. We're rolling right through it, Coach.
They did tell me Pat was going to be 2 minutes. I said, Pat's never 2 minutes.
I was quick. That was a quick hitter. That was a quick hitter.
Set the table.
Just warmed it up a little bit for you. Just warmed it up. Congratulations on 3-0.
Yeah, it feels good.
I bet.
I know this. It was just one of those games, last week, and we talked about a lot as a team, just to get to this point. I mean, it's what we've been working for. It's what we've been building on. It's what we've been talking about. But to go out there and do it is a completely different thing, and just proud of our team. It's a player's game, and they're out there making the plays, and there was a lot of them last week.
Fast start.
Yes.
That was a fast start. That was a dominating start against Northern Colorado, and it was a Northern Colorado squad that showed on the back end of the game a little bit like Colorado State, which we saw against Colorado.
Yeah.
Like, I see what they're trying to do. Like, okay, this is a team with some pieces here, and they've got a scheme, and they've got scholarship players,
absolutely.
and they're well coached.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just one of those times where we knew if we were a bunch of mature competitors and we were out there trying to be our best, it was really going to show on that field. And I thought from the moment that ball kicked off, I thought Cam was extremely sharp. I think we got that early 4th down, and then it was an avalanche of touchdowns, and the defense was on point, and we're playing complementary football. And that's what it's going to take as we continue to go throughout this season is, playing off of each other and feeling that vibe and that energy. And I think there's a real connection with this team, and I think that's what shows when we play.
Cam was sharp. That's a word for it. In other words, perfect.
Yeah.
He was perfect. He was 12 for 12 to start the game. I mean, he was unblemished.
And it was one of those things going into it, hey, don't press. We talked a lot last week. This isn't, trying to get certain stats or certain numbers. This is about efficiency of offense, going through progressions. And I thought he did a really good job of that and taking what was available to him. And then you see Kyle Williams on the big play. You see Lincoln again making people miss. You see Josh Kelly taking the ball down the field with an incredible acrobatic catch in the end zone right there. So you just see some of the pieces and the weapons that we continue to utilize. And we still, I loved it in the second half. Ran the ball even more efficiently. We ran it explosively, and we got to continue to work through some of those things, and I think it was really a positive thing to see.
We'll talk to Kyle Williams live here tonight in about 20 minutes or so. We'll get him on. I'm excited for that. Let's do this. We'll take a break. We had Pat on, so let's take a break. We'll get to the second segment next.
Okay.
We're loaded up with questions. We've got a packed house here.
What an atmosphere.
At Zeppos.
What an atmosphere.
Packed house.
Here
Great to be here live this time of the week. One of our favorite times of the week, talking ball with Coach. Be back here live next.
Saturdays are made for football. And when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums with over 50 daily departures to 18 nonstop destinations provided by 6 major airlines, as well as one-stop connections to most major metropolitan centers throughout the U.S. Real-time arrival and flight departure information is available at SpokaneAirports.net. Spokane International Airport, when it's time to fly.
Carbon monoxide detectors save lives because if kerosene, propane, natural gas, or wood isn't burned properly, dangerous carbon monoxide may result, and it can build up indoors without you knowing, as it's invisible and odorless. So protect yourself by installing UHL-approved carbon monoxide detectors. If carbon monoxide is present, the detector will alert everyone to get out of the house, where you can safely call 911 for help. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
You're listening to Cougar Football on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Whenever I see somebody purchasing something with their WSU card, I always like to give them a go Cougs. It brings me back to when I was in Pullman.
From the rolling hills of the Palouse to keys jingling before every kickoff, there's something special about being a Cougar. That's why BECU created the WSU credit and debit cards. It's just one more way to show pride for a place we all call home. Grab your WSU card today. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Call 800-233-2328 for details about credit costs and terms. Federally insured by NCUA. Member compensated for participation.
As a locally owned family business, tradition is the core of Chipman and Taylor Chevrolet in Pullman. We know that every family has traditions, and when it comes to automotive, we want your traditions to start with us, the family at Chipman and Taylor Chevrolet. We are a different type of dealership, and we take pride in continuing what we were taught many years ago, to be honest, never pressure, and to treat our customers like our own family. It's just that simple at Chipman and Taylor Chevrolet in Pullman.
This is is the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Runs into a massive Crimson, does not get the yard. It's a goal line stand.
Here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
Back at it live here at Zeppo's Talking Ball with Coach Dickert as we get set for the Cougs against the Beavers. It's the 21st ranked Cougs against the 14th ranked Beavers, both teams 3-0.
Yeah.
The country is talking about Pacific Northwest football right now for a lot of reasons, and not the least of which is the quality of the two teams that are playing here, and not the least of which because of what Cameron Ward just did against Northern Colorado in that one half. I mean, 5 touchdowns.
And I thought that was important. We needed to go in there, take care of business, and we're not hunting a certain score. The scoreboard going into the game was going to be to win the game, and to go out there and do it and get them out early, and also get John Mateer some run, get some of those young guys some run. I thought it was very important for our program to evaluate some guys that. You know how this long season goes in a tough Pac-12 that you're going to need some of those guys to come in and step in and play roles. So to see themselves out there, I think, was really important for our program and even the two defense. To go out there and not have the success that we would love them to have, there's tons of learns, and there's going to be a couple of those guys that are going to be big impact players for us, and we're going to need them now.
Well, you segued too perfectly to not get into a little bit of the writing questions. We always say if you're here and you write a question and you skip the line.
Priority.
You skip
Especially
the line.
if you're bringing your own paper.
Yes, great. Right, there's that too. Yeah. We got to look at QB2 in the second half, John Mateer. What would you like to say about him?
Well, I think John, he's been really professional ever since he got here, and he's just been a guy on a mission. I remember his first fall camp. I was just in my office, and it's late, and I looked out on the field, and the lights are off. And there's somebody out there. I'm like, who is that? It's John Mateer signaling and going through plays by himself. As a true freshman, it just opens up the window into his work ethic, his mindset, his attention to detail. And I think he's just gotten better and better and better. John by heart is a baseball player. Really, if you go into it like that was his passion growing up. And, we found John. All he had is FCS offers in January. Coach Morris, tip of the hat to him, went down there and saw him play, and I just think he's gotten better and better, and he has a unique skill set, one that we will continue to utilize even as we go throughout regular games, but sharp, and took the ball down the field and did everything we asked him to do, and I was really proud of him.
So I'm in Boulder today, and I'm talking to swimming coach Matt Leach, great guy, they're doing a great job. Yeah. And he comes up, we're talking ball a little bit what's going on. He goes, hey, what do you think about John Mateer? I was like, he's great. He's big arm, great athlete.
His dad's a swim coach.
He goes, I know his dad. I know his dad. I said, oh, that's awesome. He goes, no, I was coaching with his dad, and this. And I was like, wait,
he trains a lot of people.
Yeah, he's a swimming coach.
And I was like, John, you're a pretty good swimmer. He's like, no. So it's one of those things. But John's a great example. A lot of those guys. I mean, to see Leo run the football, and Javinsky and DP came in and ran it possessed. I'm just so proud of some of those guys. Once they get their opportunities, trust me, Chaz, they've earned it. Yeah, you said Leo. You mean Leo Pululasi, who had that great spring game. He did. Haven't seen him a ton since, but then against Northern Colorado, fourth quarter, like, wait a minute, this guy can run. He's really good. You know what's fun, Chaz, too, and I said this after the game, but a couple of those guys come up to me and are like, Coach, I'm just so thankful you put me in. I'm like, guys, you earn that. Right? You're a valued member of the team. You bust your tail. You're getting those opportunities. You earn everything you get, and just proud of a lot of those guys the way they played. How'd the week of practice go getting ready here for the Beavers? How's this week been? Pat did a good job setting the stage. I mean, there's nothing as a coach you really need to say for these moments in these games. I mean, guys are on high alert. They understand what these moments are, and this is why you're here, to play in these type of games, in this type of environment. Because Pat is 100% right. That stadium, since I've been here, it's never been that electric as it was from the Wisconsin game, and I think we're ready to top it. I think there's an energy. There was a 6 p.m. traffic. I was almost late coming up. Pullman traffic? Oh, we love Pullman traffic. It's happening, and it's fun, and it's real. But the guys have been locked in. They've stayed steady to their approach. Let's not try to overdo it. Let's have a standard of how we prepare. The Tuesday, Wednesday were really physical practices. Today was a sharp mental day, and we'll have one more prep day before we get into Saturday. Now through September 29th at Northern Quest, enter to win a brand new GMC Yukon Denali in the $116,000 Yukon Rush giveaway. Details at northernquest.com. Let's take an early break here. We've got too many. We keep on not getting to all the questions. Okay. Yep. So we got to get. We got to let the people be heard. We got to do it. We got to live here at Zeppo's Talking Ball with Coach Dickert. We'll come back next with some questions.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner. Oh, I thank you. I meant U.S. Bank. I knew that. US Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what US Bank is for. US Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
If Pac-12 football runs deep in your veins, then Sirius XM Pac-12 Radio is what you need to listen to. We're talking conference and team previews, plus hear live games, news, and analysis from experts like Jeff Schwartz, Yogi Roth, and Evan Moore. Go in-depth with your favorite team with coaches shows, championship specials, and more. Get inside Pac-12 football like nowhere else. Feed your fandom on the Sirius XM app. Stay up to date anywhere you go. Just download the app and start streaming.
This is former Coug, Eric Coleman.
Picked off, intercepted, touchdown coming into the end zone, Eric Coleman.
And you're listening to Cougar Football. Go Cougs.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Do you ever pay attention to overhead power lines? If you're like most people, you don't, but you should, especially when you're working up on a roof or carrying a ladder outdoors. Kids who climb trees and fly kites and adults with drones need to watch out for power lines too. And on the off chance that you find a downed power line, stay at least 10 feet away and quickly call 911 and Avista. Always pay attention to power lines. It's your best line of defense. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
This is the Cougar Football Hour.
Somersaults in, football first touchdown.
U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. Here's Matt Chazanow.
Back here live with Coach talking ball, live at Zeppo's. Great crowd, great to see everybody, all the familiar faces, all of our loved ones here at Zeppo's.
Great.
It's awesome. We've got the 21st-ranked Cougs against the 14th-ranked Beavers coming up, and some questions for you. Coach, we saw you go shake hands with the 100-year-old vets before the game. Classy move, and the right thing to do. Were you generally? Yeah, absolutely. Now, Admittedly, I was in my own world up there in the booth. Tell me more about this. I missed this, and I need a little more context for it. What's going on here?
Yeah, you were a big-timer on TV.
Easy.
It's good, though. It's good. It was just one of those things. I think it was a first quarter in between the first quarter, and they were just honoring veterans that are in the stadium, but they also had some veterans that were over 100 years old, and it was just one of those things that I caught on the scoreboard, and maybe I should have been more locked in and engaged, but I just thought I just went over there and showed my respect. Took the hat off, got an opportunity to shake their hands, and just really appreciative to every military member, the men and women that protect and serve our country. There's nothing more important than that.
Heroes. No doubt. Heroes. By the way, my boss and our general manager is a veteran, an Air Force veteran, Randy Schwagler. Right there. He's the best. Randy's the best. We love him. Mark B. wants to know, but now we're going to social media. We got a couple write-ins here, so we're pivoting to the Twitter, the X, the whatever this is. Mark B., who comes from Riverside, is listening from Bowler, so he's in volleyball land as well. When you play a QB like DJ Uiagalelei, who's big, 6'4", 252, listed maybe bigger, do you select a scout player to mimic his height, size, movement, or do you just kind of go with your regular scout? How do you deal with that?
Well, I think there's a couple phases to it. What we have been working on, because we've missed a couple sacks this year, is like getting those guys down. One thing that's, I think, getting harder as football has changed a little bit is that you never touch the quarterback. So what do you train your DNs? Hey, stay away, stay away. And we've had some situations this year where we need to finish. So you create some situations where you're not hurting anybody, but, hey, we're going to tackle some of these scout quarterbacks. And then they do a good job with him in short yardage situations. They're using him a lot like they did the Wildcat guy last year. So now we'll bring an actual tailback in there to try to tackle him in those type of situations. But other than that, it's hard to replicate. I think that's what makes him pretty special.
So Uyunglele is kind of in that Jack Coletto finish.
Well, they're using him that way because they don't have a true Wildcat guy. And
Right.
sometimes it makes it a little more dangerous because now it's the quarterback doing it, and there's element of throws a little bit more than the jackhammer.
Interesting, yeah, the jackhammer.
Yeah.
You're a good football player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Alex Reed, our guy Alex Reed, he wants to know how big of an impact do big crowds / sellouts have on recruiting?
Oh, it's huge. Just even taking us back all the way to the Wisconsin game a couple weeks ago, we had 3 recruits up on official visits. We got all 3 of those recruits.
Love that.
When you go that and they come out and they see that stadium and that environment, and more importantly, just how much it means to everybody. I can't tell you how much the families, when we're meeting with them on Sunday, just talk about how well they were treated, the passion of the fans, some of the chants in the student sections and all some of the fun stuff and all the tailgates, the RVs. There's something to it that is just, it's magical. And when you come from all over the country, you just don't know what to expect sometimes. I would say when I sit in those rooms and talk to parents, you can Google Washington State, but you're going to leave with questions. So when you get here, you really feel it. And the constant thing that we constantly hear is, Coach, I never thought it was going to be like this. And that game day environment, after the game, they're in the locker room, we're celebrating, dancing around. There's nothing like that. And let's get another one of those this weekend.
Yeah, it's a big pictures don't do it justice place.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
I think sometimes parents are like, oh, where am I going?
Yeah.
And they used to put them on the old prop planes, from Seattle. They're like, but now we get them here, and it's all love because it's family. And I think they really feel that from the crowd, the environment. Even my family for the Wisconsin game got to tailgate in the RV tailgate.
How was that?
Oh, it was unbelievable. And they were just like, the people, the fans, the passion. I've never seen anything like this. So it was just a great experience, and our recruits, it's a big advantage.
You can feel it.
Oh, you can feel
it. That's awesome. Jim Akers wants to know the key to the Oregon State offense is their running game, so he says.
Yeah.
How are they the same or different from Wisconsin in their running game?
Well, I think old Wisconsin. I think new Wisconsin is the new kind of modern air raid, and we see that all the time in our offense. But, to see fullbacks and tight ends and 13 personnel, and once again, it's not a penalty to be under center. I think some of these new age kids, they don't know that, right?
Round of applause for Brandon Jackson, by the way.
Jack just came in.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it's just a unique style, and kind of like when you play Air Force, Chaz, it's really hard to replicate, and they kind of take advantage of a lot of different things. But if we can make them throw the ball, be behind the chains, be predictable, it'll be our advantage. It's a difficult task, and these 2 tailbacks are real.
All right, this is a random pivot from the Cougar Collective Twitter handle. First of all, let me ask, because I'll skip it. Are you a Star Wars guy at all?
I've never seen a single Star Wars or Star Trek. Not a single one.
Fascinating. It speaks volumes that you've linked them together, because I think a lot of the Star Wars and Star Trek fans are now offended, right?
I know.
And now they're battling. And the whole,
if there's some, Battle Galactica that I missed, but I'm completely off of it, and I apologize.
Well, no apology necessary. You've got like 25 hours of research to do.
Yeah, a little binge watching, I guess. What you're saying.
Somebody with a collective is a Star Wars guy and wanted to know who shot first, Han or Greedo. There's a scene that's kind of a little bit of not the super deep cut. Somebody had a strong opinion about that. A bunch of Han Solo fans. All right, there you go. So we'll move on.
Okay.
LJ wants to know. He can't get a seat. LJ's he wishes he could get a seat. Well, we'd love to have you here, LJ.
Yeah, by the way, I did park in the curbside pickup Zeppos. I apologize. We're all right.
He said show seems to get more and more attendance each week. Got here 5:20, got the last table. We'll love it. Okay. I mean, it's a good problem to have, and we love it. We love to have you here early and often. That's really fun. Coach, Daniel wants to know, Coach, what has been your favorite road stadium to date?
Ooh, that's a good one. Just in the Pac-12?
He didn't stipulate, so I'll leave it up to you.
Maybe we've said this before, but I thought the Fargo Dome in Fargo, North Dakota is one of the hardest places to play and really the loudest environment I've ever been in.
Must echo.
It's just one of those things where it's 20,000. They're right on top of you. I mean, they're screaming, and it's just the dome keeps it in, and the decibel level is unbelievable. So I've seen it coaching for them. I've also seen it playing against them, and it is like the tale of two different worlds there, I'll tell you that.
That's awesome. Mason wants to know, sometimes it's easier to prepare after a loss than it is after a win. How do you keep the guys focused on what is most important, going 1-0 this week, especially with all the attention because of the way, these are the only 2 Pac remaining schools?
Yeah, I mean, I think just naturally when you get into conference play, everything's heightened. And I think they know the importance of every win in every game and in every moment. And the biggest thing I want them is not worried about that, and that's not pressure. As you keep stacking up a bunch of 1-0s, every game starts to take on a little bit more and more life, and you start to get these type of matchups. So I want our guys to know pressure is a privilege. They've earned this. They've worked their tail off. I don't get into a lot of the ranking stuff, but this is going to be 2 really quality teams that are battling to be 1-0 in a league that is going to be really hard to get wins in. So the best part is it's at our place. At Gisa Field, we have a distinct advantage.
Zach wants to know, have you had an opportunity to ride in a combine on the Palouse Hills yet?
I have not. I will say it is one of those amazing feats as you just watch them sideways to see that. It's just like the design of it and how it's executed is just fascinating.
It's awesome. Yes. Yeah. My first experience with Harvest, I was on one of the golf holes, and it was like raining. It was like raining. Wheat essentially, and I didn't know what it was. I'm looking around. Why is it snowing? It's 85 degrees. It was awesome.
But any farmers out there, I'm open to the opportunity.
I think we could find something.
I think we got to make this happen.
I think we can make that happen. I think that's something we can remedy. Kellen Wazoo Coug wants to know, as a former DC, is it hard to let the reins go and hire an OC with an air raid style offense?
Well, I would say no, because we made that decision because of that's the style of offense that I think works here. It works with our personnel, and I think it's really difficult to defend, and that's why we brought him here. And also because it has every facet too, because I think it's really important that each side of the ball has an opportunity to prepare, and they get a chance to see counter and power and zone. So I think that really prepares the defense as well. So while we are up tempo and a little bit more of air raid, we also run the ball, and I think that helps the defense to prepare as they're going to go throughout the week. So I think offense and defensive schemes do need to mirror and match. I think that's a really important thing, and I feel like ours do that.
Our guy Tom wants to know, great to see Tom, as always, when coaching a game that's turning into a blowout, when or does at all your mind kind of go toward, all right, let's get out of here healthy?
Yeah.
Like when is our game's in hand, we feel good about the result, and we want to get guys reps, but we really want to stay healthy.
I think that happened with about 2 minutes left in the half. I think we got there, and it was right. And I think we scored on, I believe, 6 straight possessions, and I felt very confident that even our backends could come in there and be successful. So I think we got to that point. We knew it was going to be week 1 of the Pac-12 slate. Once again, we got our work in. We got those guys to get some good learns of things we can do better. And at that point, I think it's time to get some other guys in and make sure you're getting out healthy and ready to go.
Broadcast is brought to you in part by Frost Brewed Coors Light, made to chill. Visit your local retailer. Look for the Coors Light Coug display QR code for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Cougs tackle the Dogs on November 25th. Promo starts September 19th. And ends October 30th. Open to residents in Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. Must be 21 or older. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. That's a cool little deal right there.
Yeah, countdown clock's at 65 days, and just in case you're wondering.
That's crazy.
It's coming up so fast.
How about that? 2 months till Apple Cup.
Yep.
2 months till Apple Cup. That's wild. We'll take a break live here at Zeppo's Talking Ball before the Beavers come here into town on Saturday.
Saturdays are made for football. And when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
SeatGeek's the ticketing app for fans like the sideline shot caller.
Come on, boys, pick up the pace!
SeatGeek got him a great deal on seats right near the action, so when he yells,
"What are you doing? Block him!"
he can be absolutely sure the players heard him. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more. So fans can fan.
Whenever I see somebody purchasing something with their WSU card, I always like to give them a go Cougs. It brings me back to when I was in Pullman.
From the rolling hills of the Palouse to keys jingling before every kickoff, there's something special about being a Cougar. That's why BECU created the WSU credit and debit cards. It's just one more way to show pride for a place we all call home. Grab your WSU card today. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Call 800-233-2328 for details about credit costs and terms. Federally insured by NCUA. Member compensated for participation.
Cougar football lives here.
Up the middle, touchdown! 1 second left. Cougars on top.
On the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Today's nutrition report is brought to you by Wilbur Ellis. The average athlete loses 1 to 4 pounds of fluid during a workout. That's why pregame nutrition is key to helping athletes power through and reach their peak performance. Our friends at Wilbur Ellis understand the needs of athletes and crops alike. Their innovative products like Puric promote optimal nutrient absorption for fast-growing crops, ensuring our athletes get the high-quality nutrition they need to go the distance. Visit WilburEllisAgribusiness.com and chart your course for the winning ag experience.
Whoever said good things come to those who wait clearly never ordered in the McDonald's app. Just order ahead in the app, and you can pick up when you get here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Cougars fans, now you can win all season. On game day, get a 20-piece chicken McNuggets and 2 medium fries for just $10.99 when you order ahead on the app. Valid once per day through December 1st, 2023. At participating McDonald's, must opt into rewards.
This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Runs into a massive Crimson, does not get the yard. It's a goal line stand.
Here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
Back here live, we're talking ball at Zeppos. We've got ourselves Coug wide receiver Kyle Williams, and it's great to have him. We've put him to work a little bit here tonight, throwing a headset on you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming here. Thank you for doing this. You're one of the newer Cougs. Mm-hmm. You're a transfer here. What was that experience like integrating in the locker room, figuring out your role on the team, figuring out where you fit in? How's it been being one of the new guys?
It's been hard, but they slowly made it easy. One of our things has been brotherhood, and it's been preached, and it's also been something that's lived. Coming from some place where I spent 3 years, I made so many bonds with people. So leaving that was definitely hard, but coming here was like opening a new chapter to my book, and I'm grateful to be here, and I love being here, and I'm happy to be a Coug.
California kid. Yep, there you go. Round of applause from the folks. California kid, Santa Monica High School. You go to UNLV for 3 years. Now you're here in the Pac. Off the field, it's unique context, but this year it is the Pac-12. You grew up California kid, and here you are. You're going to go to the Rose Bowl in a couple of weeks and all that. What's it been? Has it been a little surreal in some way, to some degree?
It definitely has, especially coming here. What their expectations is a lot higher than where I came from. But at the end of the day, I always say it's football. It's a sport that I've been playing since I've been a kid. So the game doesn't change. It's just the atmosphere and the culture changes, and that's been it.
All right, so you've got 3 touchdowns this year. Cougs have played 3 games. Mm-hmm. It's been going well.
Yes, it has.
That's at least the easy. How does it feel out there? In terms of a football perspective, less about locker room and all that stuff. How's the game felt to you?
It's been easy, honestly. It's just something that I've adapted to over the years, and everything's starting to come easier as I'm getting older, as my knowledge is expanding. It's definitely been fun, but I'm just starting, to be honest. It's a long way to go. I have a lot more to show and a lot more to intake, so I'm just getting started, breaking the surface.
We're here with Kyle Williams, getting prepped a little bit, getting to know Kyle a little better before the Beavers come in on Saturday. You've got a room with Josh Kelly, Lincoln Victor, Isaiah Hamilton, Carlos Hernandez, Meredith Nunnally. But what's the wide receiver room like for you?
Exciting, electrifying. You have so many weapons, from 1s, 2s, to 3s. Everybody could get in there and play. And when I come into a room every morning, every day with people that want to get better, it just forces me to get better. And those two, you could say I have 3 touchdowns. Link has 3 touchdowns. So the ball is getting spread around because we have so many weapons, and it's dangerous.
Has it been developing chemistry with Cam Ward? What's it like catching balls from Cam?
It's fun. I like to say our chemistry comes off the field, then it incorporates on the field. But getting along with him has been a lot easier than I thought, and he understands where I come from because I play quarterback, so I see it from both lenses. So it's been definitely easy connecting with him.
So how much do you and Lincoln get on him from the QB perspective? How much do you and Lincoln get on Cam and say, hey, now, how about this throw or that throw? You ever let him have it?
We do let him have it, but we try to, lower our tone because, he has a lot of pressure on him already. But we try to be as reasonable as we can and understand where he's coming from. He also understands where we're coming from, so when we get on the field, we can make those changes happen.
Yeah, pull me behind the curtain on the sideline discussion. You, Coach Edwards, the wide receivers coach, Coach Arbuckle, the OC, and then you and Cam and the wide receivers. You get off the field. You score a touchdown. What do you talk about? What's the go-to?
We talk about the different looks. We definitely celebrate the touchdown, but we move past it quick. You get what I'm saying? So we look at what else can we attack, the leverages of the DBs, what coverage they're in, and what different shots we could take next.
So what do the Beavers show you?
Beavers show me, they run a lot of quarters, so definitely a lot of deep shots coming. And then, they also can't tackle well.
It's going to be a really exciting atmosphere, one that may mimic the Badgers. Mm-hmm. What did that feel like? What was Martin Stadium? Because that was your home. It was your Coug opener. That was your Coug home debut. You'd already played one game on the road in Fort Collins, but it was your first chance to see what Pullman is like. What was that like, and how excited are you to try to duplicate that against Oregon State?
It was a dream, I prayed about this and dreamed about this as a kid, to be in this type of atmosphere and experience. And I like to say this is the best fan base in the country. Nobody compares to it. And, we have fans like this that support you and just uplift you. It just makes the game a lot more fun, and it makes it easier to play. So I hope we could get that same crowd this weekend for weeks coming on. And I'm ready. You're
walking around campus. You're going to class. The RVs are in the lot, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to practice. Folks are here. Zeppos is slam packed. You're here for the show. It's kind of palpable, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's something about Pullman specifically, the way it is for game week, right back end of the week especially, where folks converge on the town. What's it like as a student? But it's for you guys. I mean, mm-hmm. It's here for you, and Brennan's here. Like you guys are the ones playing. You must be walking around. It's got to kind of swell you with pride.
You get them butterflies. Wednesdays you start seeing the RVs park, and then Thursday night you see everything just packed, traffic. It's rare that you see traffic here, but when season starts, you see a lot of traffic. But when you see that, you start getting the butterflies, and you know that game time's coming, and you have no other choice but to put on a show for everybody.
Kyle, thank you, buddy.
Thank you so
really
much.
Fun. Kyle Williams, wide receiver here for the Cougs. We'll take a break. We'll get Coach Dickert live on next year at Zeppos.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through! Yeah.
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
SeatGeek's the ticketing app for fans like the sideline shot caller.
Come on, boys, pick up the pace!
SeatGeek got him a great deal on seats right near the action, so when he yells,
"What are you doing? Block him!"
he can be absolutely sure the players heard him. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Oregon State, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 85 critical scores of 90-plus points. Visit them at their Walla Walla tasting room or at CanoeRidgeVineyard.com. Go Cougs!
Cougar football lives here.
Up the middle, touchdown! 1 second left. Cougars on top.
On the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppos. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppos is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppos.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. You know, for your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
It is that time of the show we talk about the opponent here. It's Washington State against 14th ranked 3-0 Oregon State. Live here at Zeppo's. Great to be back with Coach. Before we get into the Beavers, compliments to Kyle Williams. It's really fun to talk to him.
Oh, Kyle did a great job. I think he said he was nervous, but he was out there. Give another round of applause for Kyle.
He did great.
He was
great.
awesome.
I told him in the break when they come up here, I say, it's all love. It's all a big hug here from everybody.
And Kyle's one of those guys that he's been injected some life into our program, and he's a playmaker, and he's fun to be around. And you get a chance to see some of these guys' personality. All you get to see him is scoring the touchdowns, but he doesn't lack confidence. I love it.
No, he does not lack confidence. Good ball player.
That's right.
He is a good ball player. All right, Oregon State, 14th ranked team in the country. They started with a 42-17 win over San Jose State. That was that Sunday game on CBS. And they beat UC Davis 55-7. They beat San Diego State 26-9. They did not allow the Aztecs to really finish drives in that ball game. And so they're 3-0. They show you what? Big picture with Jonathan Smith.
Well, I think, I just have a lot of respect for Coach Smith and what he's done with their program. And obviously, being there for a long time, stability in the coaching staff, stability in schemes. And I think you're seeing the product of that and being really physical at the line of scrimmage. I think when you pop on Oregon State, it's really the first thing that you see is that on both sides, they've been physically dominant through the first 3 weeks. And I think, they knew that they could do that coming in, but you got to match that physicality. We feel like we have that too. And it's one of those things that, it's going to show up on that field, but they're playing great ball control on offense, really good job on defense, and really in the last 15 months of the last year and, 3 games, they've been the number one defense in the league. And we got to find our ways to get our playmakers the ball in space and try to take advantage of some matchups.
Yeah, they are, as the number goes here, third in the pack in rushing yards a game, 219 rush yards a game, and they have 57 rush yards allowed. That's 6th best in the country.
Well, I think it's going to be strengths of their team. I think the 2 tailbacks, we talked about the Wisconsin guys, and those guys get the hype, but Martinez and Fenwick are as good as there is in the country. Maybe I spoke a little bit too fast on those 2 tailbacks because these guys know the scheme. They're patient, they're big, they're downhill, and rarely does one person bring them down. So that's been the emphasis of the week defensively is there's an effort level that we need to play with. That's got to be the core of what we do, and effort's in your heart, and go out there and put it out on that field because it's going to take a lot of people to make sure we're bringing these guys down. And how do we find a way throughout the course of this game to get a timely takeaway on defense? They're not going to beat themselves. We got to go out there and earn it. It's going to start with a physical brand of football.
Yeah, we talked about Braylon Allen and Ches Malusi, and you mentioned Martinez and Fenwick here. It's like that's a pretty decent comp, maybe a different style, but in terms of quality, Martinez has had 9 straight 100-plus yard games going back to last year.
Yeah, and I think he's, kind of just risen his game up to his level as he's kind of now in his second full year being the guy. And then, just like a, kind of a run-style team that you got to make sure you're preventing the big pass play, right? Because 7 on the outside is a bolt of lightning out there. He broke the game open last week in the 4th quarter with a big screen play when it looked really close, and it feels like 2 Gold has been there for a long time. So good playmakers on the edges as well, and I think they're really well coached. And that third phase, when you get in these type of games, that special teams phase is going to be big, and they had a game breaker against us right out of the opening kickoff, and we got to make sure our 4 units are really secure because I think they do a really good job in that third phase as well.
Yeah, those 2 wide receivers, Gould and Bolden, are of similar stature. They're both 5'8". Bolden's a little smaller, actually, listed under 160, Gould 170, but they're both all-pack returners, kick and punt.
Yeah, and that's the thing when, sometimes our special teams rooms, Coach Whitworth, who does an amazing job with our special teams, he goes, these guys are a problem on offense, aren't they? Because they're really good in the return game. And, they'll bring it out a couple, 3, 4, even 5 yards deep in that kickoff return game because they feel like they can be explosive. So, Dickert has been amazing. He kicked a touchback on the 20-yard line last week. I've never seen that in all my years of coaching. I don't know if I'd have to track and do some history.
Be a great nugget to check.
He kicked that 85 yards.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. That's a great point.
He kicked it 85 yards for a 5-yard touchback from the 20-yard line.
Right. It was backed up.
Yeah, so it was just unique. So we got to utilize him as a weapon, and those balls that are hopefully hitting on that back white line are going to be really important in this football game.
22 touchbacks and 24 kickoffs on the year for Dickert.
Yeah.
And
he's been a weapon. He's been a weapon. And that isn't just Theke. I mean, I think Dean is as high a level as a kicker as you can get. Nick Haber keeps coming into his own and done a really good job. So we feel really strong about our specialists and what they do and how we utilize them for our team.
Did you see Haber on social media after the game against Northern Colorado?
I did not. I'm worried about what you're going to say next.
No, it was fine. It was safe.
Yeah.
It was safe. But he goes, hey, punted once late. He goes, Cam doesn't like me.
Let's keep that going. No offense to Nick, but I do like those
he was
numbers.
Joking. DJ Uiagalelei, Clemson transfer, now is a 25-6 starter in college, a very experienced QB from Clemson. What do you make of him?
Well, I think that's the right word. I think he brings confidence to their team. And when you feel like you have a guy at that position just like we do, everyone else feels really, really good around him. And a great, what I would call, Chaz, a level 2 thrower, right? So level 1 is throwing those missiles in there. Level 3 is the deep ball, but those second-level pockets over the top of backers off of play action, his touch and accuracy is unbelievable, and he is hard to bring down. And I think he runs their zone in their boot scheme very well. He's very mobile. But you alluded to it, he's seen everything, right? So there's not going to be a situation or adversity that he hasn't been challenged with, and he's really given them, I think, another level of confidence.
28 starts for Clemson over 3 years, basically.
Yeah.
And a very, very experienced. Went to the Orange Bowl, went to the Cheez-It Bowl. He's done a lot. They still have Ben Gulbranson, the starter from last year, and then Aiden Childs was big recruit, so he's their
Yeah, I think they're obviously well on offense and it's documented, but they get a lot of the love, but that defensive line unit, probably, Chaz, is as good as it gets in our league, and it's kind of the catalyst for the success that they've had early on defense, and, we got to make sure we're neutralizing those guys. I think they did a good job with some different schemes and playing with power last year, but I know this, we're a different team than we were last year. I really know that we've taken a step forward, and our offensive line is playing confident and ready to accept this challenge.
It's amazing that last year on the road in Reser, tight game, 1 touchdown game, third quarter was Lily Fatamoy's first ever snaps at right tackle.
It was the first game, and
ever.
We talked. Grant Stevens was out for the first game.
Yeah.
I got to actually see Grant on the field.
Oh, did you?
At UNC. It was incredible.
I didn't realize he was back. That's awesome.
Oh, he lost like 55 pounds.
Did he
was
really?
like, dude, you look like a linebacker. But it was just great to see. He's graduated. He's in their academic services and helping the football players, and it was just amazing. But just the growth of our team, and that's been kind of our theme this week of just we want to be a team on the rise, and there is something to the dedication to wanting to be better each and every day, and I think our guys have that. And just watching last year to this year, I think there's a confidence level that our team has as well.
Cougs take on the Beavers. 21st ranked Cougs, 14th ranked Beavers. We're live here at Zeppo's. We're talking ball with Coach Dickert. We continue next.
Winning a new Yukon Denali at Northern Quest is easy. Sending your other car to live on a farm upstate? Well, you'll get over it. Don't miss the $116,000 Yukon Rush giveaway with the grand prize drawing on September 29th at Northern Quest. Play daily with your Camus Rewards card to enter, and you could be driving home in a brand new GMC Yukon Denali at the end of the month. Details at northernquest.com.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
You're listening to Cougar Football on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
There is a local ranch just outside of Boise, Idaho, that has masterfully bred Japanese Wagyu cattle with American Angus cattle. Now this American-style Wagyu beef is available to you and your family. Rosars presents Snake River American-style Wagyu beef. Snake River Farms beef is famously found in many exclusive five-star steak restaurants. Snake River Farms, available at your local neighborhood Rosars.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Oregon State, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 85 critical scores of 90-plus points. Visit them at their Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
This is the Cougar Football Hour.
Somersaults in, football first touchdown.
U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. Here's Matt Chazanow.
Back at it, talking ball here with Coach Dickert. We got a couple of segments left before the Cougs take on the Beavers, and we're all prepped and ready for Saturday. Washington State University would like to thank Crimson and Gray for their continued support of Coug Athletics. Head to bookstore.com to get the latest in Coug apparel. That's BKSTR.com. I can't help but notice that two of our favorites in the back of the room, of course, Miss Jackson is here, but yes. Armani Marsh's mom is here. And we loved Armani, and congrats to him, Tennessee Titan,
yes,
NFL, practice squad. And, Kapana Gushikin and Jackson Latai-Mua have a tall task. They're trying to
big shoes to fill.
Big shoes. Armani Marsh is one of the best nickelbacks in the pack in last 10 years or so.
And Armani is one of those guys too that you just, from his work ethic and just everything that he gave to our program, you just can't say enough about him. But every NFL scout that asked me about him, I said, just get him in your building. I said, get him in your building, watch him work, let him go. And he's done every bit of that. And we get to talk to the scouts even now. He stayed the course, and he's going to get his opportunity, and just wait, Chaz. He's going to take advantage of it.
Too consistently productive, not to.
Oh, no question. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no
and, you just go like, I just got the chance to meet B-Jack's coach from high school. I just said, you don't appreciate some of those players enough when they're here. I tell our coaches that, because Coach Bull used to say that to me, because I was in a room with two safeties that are still in the NFL and they're on their fifth year, and he's like, Jake, just really appreciate this, because it's hard to come around. And when you get guys like Armani and Brennan Jackson and R.J. Stone and just a bunch of our guys, you just got to enjoy coaching them when they care so much about it. They work their tail off, and they give everything to the program. So it's great. And I've always told Armani that he's always welcome back, and he has a job with us all the time.
Love that.
He's going to be a great coach.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of those guys that's just so detailed, and he's going to be a great coach, and I can't wait to work with him someday.
For a guy who hits that hard, he's a soft-spoken guy. He's very very well-spoken. He's a little quiet.
Soft-spoken. He's just controlled.
Yeah,
let's go with that. He's controlled. He knows what he wants to do, and Armani was fun because I think when we first got here, he was a corner. We know we wanted to go to this 4-2-5, and it takes a special player. And just like you talked about Penna and Jackson and what they're doing now, it takes a special skill set to be able to do that. So he bulked up. He was really proud of weighing 180, and he played that way all the time.
I love it. We'll take a break. Final break. We'll take a break. Next segment is the final segment. Next, Cougs and Beavers.
Saturdays are made for football. And when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Carbon monoxide detectors save lives, because if kerosene, propane, natural gas, or wood isn't burned properly, dangerous carbon monoxide may result, and it can build up indoors without you knowing, as it's invisible and odorless. So protect yourself by installing UHL-approved carbon monoxide detectors. If carbon monoxide is present, the detector will alert everyone to get out of the house, where you can safely call 911 for help. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
Getting split. Down he goes.
The speed.
40, there he goes. Down the sideline.
The best in college football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back in the end zone. 30, 20. Say goodnight to this one.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
This is former Coug, Eric Coleman.
Picked off, intercepted, touchdown coming into the end zone, Eric Coleman.
And you're listening to Cougar Football. Go Cougs.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and, of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums with over 50 daily departures to 18 nonstop destinations provided by 6 major airlines, as well as one-stop connections to most major metropolitan centers throughout the U.S. Real-time arrival and flight departure information is available at SpokaneAirports.net. Spokane International Airport, when it's time to fly.
Back here live, we're talking ball. Final segment here, Coach Dickert at Zeppo's. We've got 21st ranked Cougs, 14th ranked Oregon State, and Coach, it's always fun to get prep not only for Pacific Northwest rival, but a ranked Pacific Northwest rival, and a monster game.
First time ever, both ranked?
That's the rumor.
Okay.
That's the hot rumor. How about that, ever?
That's incredible.
Yeah,
anytime you can say that and you've been playing ball all against each other for over 90-some years, it's definitely incredible.
I've got it at the 108th meeting, although I've seen another number on another article, but I've got it as the 108th meeting. It started in 1903.
That's incredible.
And
it's going to be a heck of a rivalry. It's going to be a heck of an environment. But I do got a special treat for you,
What
Chad.
is this, Coach?
Because I went to this golf outing, and I want everyone to see this. Right? So this is going to be free advertisement for Jones right here. But this is Chaz's face on a right here, a strawberry lime soda.
Great.
And come on, give Chaz a round of applause. He does an amazing job. I took this because you weren't able to be there because you were sick.
I was sick that day.
I found it in the back of the fridge. I almost thought I lost it or broke it.
Incredible. Well, I'll never drink it.
This will be a keepsake for you for all time.
I wasn't sure I'd ever get my face on a soda, but here we are. I love it. I'm honored and proud to.
Heck yeah.
I love that you brought it too.
Oh, no doubt.
Thanks for keeping it.
Yep.
That's super fun. But I can't. I got to make sure. My little guy who just turned 3, one day he's going to try to drink that thing.
Absolutely. And put it on a shelf, put it up high. You'll be in good shape.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. This is great.
You made it now.
Here I am. Yeah. Here we are.
And we've made it. This is going to be a fun one, Chaz.
Super fun. I'm serious. When Pat said, first of all, he's spot on with all the 3 top 25 teams playing volleyball, soccer, football, and what feels normal now and all this success. But that atmosphere against Wisconsin was so special.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen tomorrow, I can't wait.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I do want to get a quick shout-out to Coach Greeny for going down to Texas and beating the defending national champions.
How about that?
I don't have the score updates, and I know they're playing setting the table for our Apple Cup against probably the only unranked team in this state. Right. Pullman. So
thank you, Coach.
Absolutely.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks for everybody here who came out to the show. For Jerry Kylo, who gets us on the air, Jared Penguber, our man behind the camera, and then Luke Hallett is back in the studio doing a great job. It is a 4 o'clock kick, so it's a 2 p.m. airtime with Derek Dice and Grady Emerson up in the booth, and we can't wait. Go Cougs.
It's going to be fun. Can't wait to see everybody out there. Go Cougs.